8 cities, 8 political fortresses. In 2025, they're not just voting red, they're living it, breathing it, and shaping the nation's most hardline policies. What makes them so unshakably conservative? Is it faith, economy, or something far more hidden in the fabric of their streets? Today we pull back the curtain on the most right-wing cities in America, and what fuels their unwavering grip on the right. And trust me, number 7 will surprise you. But before we start, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're pulling back the curtain and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's dive in. Provo, Utah is one of the most consistently right-wing cities in America, anchored in Utah County's deep red political identity. In the 2024 general election, the county gave overwhelming margins to Republican candidates, reflecting decades of conservative dominance. The city's culture is heavily shaped by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, whose emphasis on traditional family values, modesty, and community ties aligns closely with GOP platforms. High rates of church attendance create strong social networks that double as political mobilization engines, helping to drive turnout for conservative causes. The economy leans toward small businesses and education tied to Brigham Young University, reinforcing fiscal conservatism and resistance to progressive regulations. Local politics regularly feature battles over school curricula, opposition to dense housing mandates, and low-tax governance. For many residents, conservative values are not just political positions, but woven into the fabric of everyday civic life. Colorado Springs stands out as a formidable conservative bastion in an increasingly purple-leaning state. Anchored in El Paso County, long a Republican stronghold, the city benefits from the stabilizing influence of nearby military installations like Fort Carson and Peterson Space Force Base, which channel a voter base with strong preferences for conservative positions on national defense, veterans affairs, and fiscal responsibility. Evangelical megachurches and faith-based nonprofit networks also play a significant mobilizing role, generating disciplined turnout in spring and fall election cycles. Cultural flashpoints, including high-visibility debates over drag show permits and transgender rights in public schools, reinforce the city's reputation as a frontline in culture war politics. Schools, city council races, and local ballot initiatives regularly tilt conservative, driven by messaging that emphasizes family values, religious liberty, and limiting the role of government in business and education. These institutions, combined with traditional Republican voting margins, firmly anchor Colorado Springs on the right flank. Midland exemplifies deeply entrenched conservatism in the Permian Basin, with its roots in oil boom economics and traditional Texas values. The city consistently delivers Republican majorities in state and federal races, often approaching 70–80% in the 2024 general election, reflecting both a pro-energy, pro-business voting coalition and generalized distrust of federal regulatory policies. The prosperity driven by oil revenues translates into well-funded local campaigns and sustained investment by conservative donors, further tilting civic life in that direction. Culturally, Midland skews socially conservative. Church institutions and local media reinforce traditionalist norms, and local public schools and elected bodies often resist progressive education and housing reforms. Civic discourse emphasizes property rights, low taxes, and energy industry-friendly governance. When state-level conservative legislation arrives, on issues from abortion restrictions to gun rights, Midland often supports it with near-unanimous local backing, showcasing how ideology, economy, and identity converge in this right-leaning Texas city. Fayetteville, lying in the politically red state of Arkansas, remains a conservative stronghold despite the presence of a major university, the University of Arkansas. The city, and much of northwest Arkansas, consistently votes Republican in presidential and congressional races, with 2024 returns showing strong GOP margins in both local and statewide contests. A thriving evangelical Christian presence fuels networked organizing and religious-based voter turnout, particularly in suburban precincts. Prosperity tied to manufacturing, agriculture, and retail aligns with business-friendly and small government sentiment. Cultural conservatism is visible in local debates over education content, particularly sex ed curriculum and library materials. Fiscal conservative governance, low taxes, restrained spending, and pushback against progressive initiatives also characterizes municipal politics. Together, ideology, institutional muscle, and economic conservatism create a civic ecosystem where right-wing norms are reinforced through elected leadership and daily life. All right, we're halfway through our list, and I've got to ask, do you agree so far? Which city surprised you the most, and which one do you think deserves the #1 spot? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me what other deep dives you'd like to see, whether it's the most left-wing cities, the most politically divided towns, or hidden swing state battlegrounds. If you're enjoying this journey into America's political extremes, hit like and make sure you're subscribed so you're here for the next reveal. Mississippi's capital, Jackson, stands out as a conservative hub in a deeply red and largely rural state. Jackson's city politics skew conservative, even as urban areas elsewhere trend bluer, thanks to long-standing Democratic dominance statewide, which paradoxically makes local Republican voters more organized and ideologically homogeneous. The broader Jackson metro leans toward cultural traditionalism, backed by strong evangelical networks and church-led community efforts that mobilize for conservative candidates and policies. Messaging around family values, opposition to federal overreach, and skepticism of progressive social policies is reinforced through local media and civic associations. Education policy debates, especially around curricula related to race, history, and gender, often tilt conservative, influenced by school boards and parent groups aligned with religious organizations. Fiscal messaging is also conservative, with appeals to low taxes and limited government fueling support for GOP-aligned mayors and council members. Despite urban challenges, Jackson's right-oriented civic culture remains robust. Tulsa reflects entrenched conservative identity in a mid-sized city, an anchor in a state that routinely delivers heavy GOP margins. In 2024, Tulsa County maintained strong support for Republican presidential and statewide candidates, often exceeding 60%. Deeply rooted cultural conservatism is present in powerful evangelical megachurches, active faith-based charities, and religious media channels that shape public discourse. Outside of church pews, civic life is organized around traditional family values and progressive policies, especially around LGBTQ+ issues, sex education, and policing, frequently encounter backlash. Local governance emphasizes low tax rates, limited regulation, and strong law and order rhetoric. Even civic institutions like chambers of commerce and parent-teacher associations tend to reflect and reinforce conservative norms. Educational and cultural institutions often steer clear of progressive reform, preferring measured or traditional approaches. Tulsa's conservative leanings are a product of historical patterns, institutional support, and demographic alignment. Located in the Phoenix metro area, Mesa stands out as a strong conservative enclave even amidst growing urban diversity. In 2024, Maricopa County's results still included Mesa precincts, delivering consistently Republican margins in both national and state elections. Its identity is influenced by a combination of suburban conservatism, a high share of Latter-day Saints residents, and strong evangelical communities that drive voter turnout and civic messaging anchored on family values and limited government. Mesa's political landscape features organized campaigns against progressive zoning and affordable housing proposals, and school board debates frequently turn on themes like curriculum content and parental rights. Economically, the city attracts small businesses and light industry, reinforcing free market priorities. Public officials largely campaign on low-tax platforms and cultural traditionalism. These factors create a municipal culture where conservatism isn't just a political alignment, it's part of the local civic rhythm. Pensacola, down on the Gulf Coast, typifies conservative urbanism in a swing state. Escambia County, where Pensacola sits, regularly leans Republican at levels well above the statewide average, with 2024 showing substantial GOP margins in both local and federal races. The city's social fabric is shaped by military culture, religious conservatism, particularly Baptist and evangelical congregations, and a small business-oriented economy. Civic debates around issues like school dress codes, LGBTQ+ rights in schools, and public displays of patriotism often tilt conservative, with robust turnout driven by faith-based community groups. Fiscal conservatism is a staple in city messaging, and officials generally favor limited municipal spending and low taxes. Cultural icons like veterans' parades, religious festivals, and local media narratives reinforce traditional values. Pensacola exemplifies how military legacy, churches, and business interests together sustain a right-leaning civic climate. And there you have it. 8 cities where the right rules with an iron grip, where politics isn't just policy, it's identity. Each one is a reminder that America isn't one political landscape. It's a patchwork of fiercely defended territories, each with its own history, power base, and cultural heartbeat. Which of these cities do you think will hold the line in the years ahead, and which might shift as the nation changes? Let me know in the comments. And if you found yourself leaning in during this video, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share this with someone who loves a good political deep dive. The next story might just change how you see the map.